Hola, Elvira.
¿Cómo están? Perdón que llegué un poquito
Vale, no, tranquila.
justo a la...
Tranquila. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Ustedes qué tal? ¿Cómo vas, Charlie?
Al
¿Cómo te...
equipo, muy bien, todo súper.
Bien,
Hola,
bien,
Lina.
bien, gracias. Aquí retomando, retomando las cositas. Todo bien.
Bueno, qué bueno, Charlie. Me alegra oírte de nuevo acá con
Ujú.
nosotros.
Sí, señora. Aquí estamos. Bueno, este, bueno, entonces lo que quería hacer para esta sesión es que ustedes me cuenten qué dudas, perdón, qué dudas tienen con business processes y que revisemos también, ya tuvieron la oportunidad de hacer los quizzes que ustedes mismos diseñaron.
Sí, 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 sí.
Ok, vale, yo no los he podido ver, em, pero bueno, si quieren, podemos primero comenzar por eh, qué preguntas, qué dudas tiene sobre business processes y vamos llevando la conversación por ahí y después miramos lo de los quizzes.
Listo, perfecto.
Bien, está bien.
Perfecto. Entonces,
Esta era mi unidad favorita.
sí,
La de
qué
Business
bueno.
Sí,
Processes.
sí, porque hemos trabajado en seguridad y después de hacer unos shadowing, ah, todos empieza a conectar
Mhm.
con eso, ¿no?
¿Verdad?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yes, I agree. Like when that happens is so it's such a relief, right? When you see that everything sort of makes sense and everything is sort of connected, you know? So that happened to me too when I was sort of taking a look at the job data chapter in the
Mhm.
HCM, the Workday HCM. It sort of started clarifying a lot of concepts. So that was super useful for me to do as an exercise to sort of start to connect like new knowledge or something that was totally new, you know,
Mhm.
with concepts that we were already taking a look at in the curriculum,
Awesome. Yeah, that's the
specifically
idea.
in the BP.
That's the whole idea, and that's the idea of the quiz that you can, connect um, concepts together. And business processes is it's like one of the main concepts where we have security, we have positions, we have condition rules. There are a lot of things that come together for business processes. So, um, do you have any questions that you would like to address or any comments that you would like to share with the group? Go ahead.
Yes, I had a problem, or not a problem, but I was sort of confused with the business process based like rule-based business processes
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and step rules business processes. Like at some
Okay.
point, I think I got those two confused. So if we can take a look at those, it would be fantastic. Like specific, like let's go back to that.
Okay.
Then
Okay. So first, can you share with us what's your understanding about business rule-based business processes? What do you understand about it?
okay, so let me look at my notes. I'm actually talking about specifically about Leslie's quiz, but okay, vamos a hablar de eso después al final. Entonces, I don't want to get two things confundidas. However, fue en razón de ese questionnaire que entré en esa duda, ¿no? Como, tengo un pasivo ahí que debo entonces revisar, porque pues no. Entonces, the rule-based process, fewer steps when initiated as a rule-based business process.
Mhm.
So, what does that mean exactly? A rule-based business process. ¿Eso es una regla general que se aplica a todo, or how does that work?
It works in a way that if a rule is fulfilled or is true, then a specific business process triggers. So remember that we have default definitions, like we have higher default definition, or we may have higher, and it doesn't say default definition, but it says something else. So that's when we have other definitions besides the default definition, and depending on the rules you have configured, one of those definitions is the one that will trigger. For example, let's say we have a hire business process that applies only when an HR executive initiates the hire. So the rule evaluates if the hire process was initiated by an HR executive. And if it was initiated by an HR executive, then that definition triggers, not the default definition.
Okay.
Is it clear?
So it's like a new condition. You sort of have to configure new conditions.
It's a condition that applies to the entire business process. You know, we have we have steps, right? In a business process, we have steps, and we can apply condition rules to each step, right? Well,
Mhm.
instead of applying the condition rule to a step, we can apply the condition rule to the entire BP. So
Okay.
before we get into the BP, like before we initiate the BP, we can evaluate if a condition is met. Then Workday will determine which business process to initiate. So it's
To the entire BP.
it applies to the entire BP. That's the main difference. And
So it's a rule that it's applied to the entire BP.
correct. That's why we call it rule-based business process, because the business process is ruled by a condition rule, if you will. So Workday evaluates before starting the BP which condition is met. If a certain condition is met, then Workday chooses the BP to initiate. Is it clear? Did I make myself clear?
Yes, thank you.
So on that regard, there is something important. I don't quite remember right now, but there is an order in which business processes are executed. So first, there are three. The last one is the default definition. The first one is rule-based, and the second one is organization-based. Okay, so what Workday does is we can create. So Workday evaluates for each BP. Workday evaluates first if there is a if I mean, like, Workday evaluates if there are rule-based definitions, and if Workday doesn't find a rule-based definition, then it evaluates if there is an organization-based business process definition. If there's not an organization-based business process definition, then the definition that applies is the default definition.
So the default definition is kind of the systemic, pre-configured.
No, the default definition, let's say it's the definition that most of the times you will use, unless there is a definition for that BP that is rule-based. If there's no such rule-based BP definition, Workday evaluates if there is an organization-based definition. Like, for example, a business process that applies for people belonging to a certain organization. So, I don't know, perhaps we have an organization-based BP definition for a certain company, right? So if people, if the BP applies for someone that belongs to that organization, so that specific business process will run. But if there's no such thing as an organization-based business process definition, then the default definition applies. Most of the times, what I have seen is organizations mostly use the rule-based or the default definition.
Okay.
It's like Workday evaluates. Is there a rule-based definition for this business process? Yes or no? If yes, that's the definition that
So when
applies.
you say
If no,
evaluate, Charlie, you mean automatically? It's automated.
yes,
Automate it. Okay.
yes, depending on the context. Remember what context is?
Context. Yes, but not fully. I mean, like,
Who remembers context?
so context.
Mhm.
Context is
So it
who it
depends
applies.
on the context.
So you were saying something?
Oh, yeah, I think context is who it applies to, right?
Correct. So Workday evaluates who this applies to, right? That's the context. What's the person that we're talking about? That's the context. So depending on the person, so Workday evaluates, is there a rule-based definition, or is there an organization-based definition, or if not, if there's no rule-based or organization-based definition for this business process, then the default definition is the one that applies.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So that's important to know,
Mhm.
the order in which business process definitions, like they have, I forgot the word.
Deployment? No.
Like an order,
Mhm.
yeah, like an order in which the Workday evaluates which is the business process definition that will trigger. So, and that's the order. First, rule-based. If there is no rule-based
Mhm.
definition that applies, organization-based. If there is no organization-based definition that applies, then default definition is the one that will apply.
Okay.
Charlie, so
Okay.
when you were talking about deployment, what does deployment refer to exactly?
I'm talking about like if Workday will, which business process definition Workday will execute. Like
Yes, yes,
if it
I
is it going to
understand that.
be, Mhm. Is it going to
Yes.
be the rule base? Is it going to be the organization
Org
base? Or is
base
it going
or
to be the
default.
default definition? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
That's what I prefer to with deployment.
Okay. So it's deployment. It's deployment. It's
Like,
correct.
but I don't think deployment would be the best word. But which business process definition is the one that applies? Rule-based, organization-based, or default definition?
Okay. 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 I hear you. I understand. I understand.
Um,
Sebas? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yes, I actually had a question. Because we can't create our own business process, we have to edit the ones that Workday has. How do we do that process? We can just search the business process, for example, the default definition, and start editing the steps. Is that how it's done? Or
Well, I would suggest if you want to like play around with a default definition, with a business process definition, I would suggest to create your own definition. And you do that by copying. You can copy a business process. So if you go to Workday and share the screen, I can tell you how to get there. But I would suggest you guys, in order not to mess up, well, business process definitions in GMS are already messed up.
Okay.
But I would suggest you do that. Copy a business process definition and then play with that one.
Okay.
So go to the related actions. And it's, I think, business process. And yeah, copy or link business process definition. And copy or link. I haven't done this in a while. Copy workflow definition to business object. No. The other one, rule-based workflow definition name. So you can put there, I don't know, Sebas or your name, like whatever you want to, like whatever you want to put there. Yeah, Sebas, that's okay. So, okay. Okay. So, yeah. So go scroll down, and then you have over there the same steps as in the higher default definition, but this one is going to be like is going to be higher, and is instead of saying default definition in parentheses, it's going to say Sebas test.
Okay.
And so this is going to be a rule-based business process. Over here, you just created the copy of the definition, of the business process definition, and the second step would be to create the rule.
The rule, okay.
The rule that Workday will evaluate to run this process. So, for example, you could create a rule that says if Sebastian initiates this process, I'm sorry, if Sebastian initiates the hire, then use this business process.
Okay.
Right? Or if an HR partner, or if the manager initiates, or if the HR executive initiates, then use this process.
Okay.
But first, here you are in the window where you can edit the steps. So you can play around with this business process. You can change
So
the
this
steps.
is a higher, this is a high, okay, this is in the task BP definition,
Yeah.
copy or link business process definition, and then you sort of look at what business process you want to copy, de acuerdo al task, como
Yeah, you
For
can
example,
copy.
let's
You can
go,
copy any.
I don't know,
Mhm.
finish
Yeah.
job.
Okay, BP, change job, por ejemplo.
For
Okay.
example, yeah.
The full definition.
So you see
Teniendo
before you
problemas con la
click
vista.
there. Can you go back?
Mhm.
So you see there, change job default definition, change job for specific job prepositions, change job for swap positions, change job simplified. So, for example, change job for global modern services is Steve Morgan. So I think these are all role based. We would need to take a look at EMEA group and LATAM group. These may be organization based, but you create several definitions, and then, as I was saying before, then Workday will evaluate first, is there a rule-based definition that applies? Second, is there an organization-based definition that applies? If not, then we will use the default definition.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ah, ok, ya entiendo eso del default definition y de que es un definition y de cuando copiabas. ¿No? ¿En algún momento no copiabas estos business process al comienzo? ¿En algún...?
Creo que sí. I think so.
In where, sorry?
Como en,
Yeah.
in all this process, perdón, en todo este proceso de currículum, en todas estas sesiones que hemos tenido, ¿en algún momento hiciste esto de copiar el business process al comienzo? ¿No te acuerdas?
I don't remember. I don't recall right now.
Sí.
No,
Listo.
I don't recall. But well, this is how you do it. Like you go to the default definition or the one you want to copy, and just go here to copy or link business process definition. And then you can create your own copy.
Like this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So over
And
here, Sebas, you can, play around
Simple.
with the steps, with the condition rules for the steps, with the groups, with the type of actions, with the type of steps, sorry. If it's the completion, if it's optional, with the due date, like you can play around with everything here.
Mhm.
O sea, once you have it copied, es como tu base
Yeah.
para empezar a,
Cacharrear.
sí, a
Correct.
configurar lo que...
Yeah, like cacharrear.
Cacharrear.
Like to
Cacharrear.
cacharrear. Yeah, like to play around with the business process. Just, to be mindful of other
Mhm.
people who might be using this tenant and, to not mess up too much with the default definition.
Got it. Got it.
Yes, agree. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Charlie, quick question. Now that I'm here, I was wondering if it was in this section or in the steps or in another one. Here we can also put the alerts.
The alerts for what?
Yes, that for example, no, it wasn't alert. It was
Oh, like the notifications, alerts.
yes,
Eso
yes,
es
yes,
el
yes, thank you.
próximo tab, no?
Okay, okay, okay. Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you have the system notifications, like which
Mhm.
are the like Workday deliver notifications.
Mhm.
So like when the business process gets to the step, so the system automatically will send the notification.
Yeah.
Was that your question?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so over there you can configure that one. And scroll down, please.
Mhm.
Out of the table. Yeah. So there you have custom notifications. So you see here on that column that says trigger on status, on enter and exit, on ad hoc approve. So you can configure the notification according to these parameters here. to trigger on what, right? Like to trigger on the
Okay.
entry of a certain step, on the exit of a certain step, or on a given status. So for example, here we have completed, and you see the subject of the notification over here is DD and the body is DD, but you get the idea, right? Like
Yeah.
you can configure what's gonna be the information that you want to notify on.
That appears. Ah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me see. Status completed. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Cancel. Okay. Okay.
I think
Fine.
it
What is,
can.
excuse me, what is SS? Y yo sí no me parece tan
Well,
obvio.
that's just, someone just entered that information
Okay.
SS, but you can
Yeah.
hear if you scroll to the left,
To the left.
yeah. So on the magnifying glass, the three dots.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad.
Oh, no, over here. Cancel. Over in the magnifying glass at the top.
My bad.
One.
Sorry.
I'll go back to notifications. Scroll down to custom. Yeah, magnifying glass again.
It was this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can use that one.
Mhm.
Magnifying
here.
glass. Yeah, over there. And business process, edit notification in this case.
Okay.
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 No.
So here you see the triggers. Scroll up. So you see the triggers, right? Remember this is information we saw in the table. So you can configure it here, like to trigger on what status. Can you open up the options, the drop down list of triggers? Yeah. So we can choose any of these statuses to trigger the notification. Okay. If scroll down.
I don't have more options.
No, outside of the trigger section. We have here to the right, we have these conditions and rules. So we can create conditions for the notification to trigger as well. So, or we can choose use the left section of triggers to select on which status the notification will trigger, or we can use the conditions and rules. Mostly I have used the triggers one, not the conditions and rules for notifications.
Okay.
And scroll down. Yeah, so here we choose who will receive the notification. So in this case, we are saying a group is going to receive the notification. In this case, the absence administrator. And if we scroll, or you have the option, the recipient. Can you open up that one? Just click all.
Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of options. Okay.
So this is como grupos de qué? Son
security groups.
Security groups. Okay.
Recipients. I don't remember recipients. I don't remember how recipients work. No, but this is, I think here you put something and then below you put the emails. You can enter the emails.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry, I don't remember right now.
Alert. Puede ser un email alert.
I think so. I think that's how these recipients work. I need to cacharrear a little bit to remember how this works. But here in the recipient section that you see here, it's who's going to receive the notification. Like when this business process, when the business process step triggers, depending on how you configure it, it could be on entry, on exit, on completion, on rejection, on denial, etc., etc. So who is going to receive the notification? You set it up here. And if we scroll down, yeah, here you can enter addresses, email addresses. And here in message content,
You can
that's,
compose the
yeah, yes, that's
the,
how
the
you,
content of the template.
like
Or
the actual content.
The actual content, see.
Yeah, the actual content. So here we have the text, we have the text option and the field option. So field would be like something, a piece of information that will dynamically change according to the context of the notification. Like we can put manager, so it will always bring the manager name, right? It will not be a static text. Like it will change according to the context.
Okay.
Like, oh, you see, you have a lot of information there. Like we can put manager, employee name, like depending on what you are trying to notify. Correct. Like over there, you have a lot of fields that you can use. So depending on what you need to notify, you can build the message content or the body or the subject using static text, which will always be the same, or dynamic text, which will change depending on the context. So what you do is, for example, let's do an example, Sebas. So let's say the first line will be, hi, this notification is to let you know that. So you write that in over there. Hi, this notification is to let you know that. That. Then then the next word is going to be, let's say, the manager name, for example. So then you add another row. Oh, sorry, we're working on the subject. I'm sorry. So this is the subject. So over here we can just put a name for the notification, like I don't know,
Notification alert, this
higher
expiration.
notification, something like that, higher notification. Obviously, this will depend on what you're trying to achieve, right? And then in the body, we will put, now we put this notification is to let you know.
No, and then another one, correct?
Then, yeah, you add another row there.
Other row.
Yeah, so no worries, that's okay. So now let's say we want to dynamically put the manager's name. Okay. So you over there you can look for the manager field. So look for which of those three manager fields would be the most appropriate. You can do that by opening the related actions over there. Yeah. So this one, field name, manager, business object, event, description, the worker with the role manager for the business process, including workers with disabled, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's check the other one, the one below. Manager, position, the manager of the supervisory organization for the position or hiring restrictions. I like this one better. Okay, So we can test with that one. Let's say we're going to use that one. And you will build your
Good to
notification
know.
text like with this logic.
Okay.
Then you can say to let you know that manager, I don't know, hired someone into position XYZ. So you can
Okay.
build all that text, all the notification text using a combination of static text and dynamic text.
Okay.
Mhm. So here, a quick hint. So you can use what's the name? Line breaks
Line
to you can use line breaks to when when you want to, like, you are writing a long notification and you need to space out like sentences, like one sentence and then space below, and then you write another sentence. So for for those situations, you need to use a line break. So go ahead and add another row there. And in field, just look for line break.
Let's see. Line break.
Line break. So that's going to, split. That's going to split your text, and you will have like the way you normally write a paragraph or a long text. Like you have, it's broken into paragraphs, right? And each paragraph has the spacing. That's what this does.
Oh, okay.
So for
Cool.
each paragraph or for each renglón?
Well, it depends if you want to to visually break up the text.
Okay.
Because
so in that case,
if you
tocaría-
have a sentence, let's say you have a sentence that it's I don't know, it has a period, but the other part of the sentence, it goes right to the period, right next to the period. You don't need to use a line break. The line break, you will use it only if you want to like separate the next idea.
Es como un space, como un espacio en blanco entre
Yeah,
un
right.
párrafo y otro.
Like when you press enter, like you're writing in Word and you press enter, to create a little space between two sentences. That's how you do it.
Okay.
And is there a way to know how it looks, or
Is there a way to what?
to see, to preview how the
preview?
message looks?
Yes, there is. It doesn't always work, but you can. Let's save it. Let's press OK.
Okay.
And scroll down. Down. Click over there in preview.
Okay.
And a sample of the configuration will be sent. Yeah, that's the issue.
Okay.
But go ahead. You are logged in as Logan, right?
Yeah, I'm logged in.
Go ahead and click OK. I don't know if this will work. Go to your notifications to the bell. To the bell. Let's see if you get it.
Share notification.
Oh, see it there. You can see it there.
Oh, okay.
But I did notification to let you know that you see, like in quotes, we have manager. And like you will always get here in quotes. When you do it this way, when you preview it, you will get this, because the system, since this is just a preview, the system doesn't know which manager, right?
Todavía,
Because
right.
Correct, because you didn't run the business process for anyone. Like you are just previewing, right? So when you run the business process for someone, the system will know the context and will know who the manager is for this instance, right?
Mhm.
But since we're just previewing it, you will see it here, like the dynamic text will always be in quotes.
Got it. Got it. Cool. So let's
Yep.
see. I go back. Dang it. Yes. We're back. I think I changed this one. Yep, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Those are all
Did
of the
you
fields.
did you play around with or have questions about condition rules, step conditions? Sorry.
Ooh, I still haven't gotten to that part yet. Let's see. For example, is there Charlie?
Mhm.
If I don't, how do I know which one is the completion step? I know that if we don't say which one is the completion, Workday takes the last one as completion.
Completion.
The completion.
Completion.
If
Yeah.
if you scroll to the, why it's not visible here? You scroll down
Mhm.
all the way down. Go to scroll up,
Mhm.
up, all the way up outside of the table.
Ah, gotcha.
And then go to related actions.
There we go. Mhm.
Or you know what? It should be visible here. Wait one moment. Do you see the little icons just above the table?
Above the table.
Yeah, the little icons with the Excel icon,
Oh, yeah.
the filter icon. Go to the expand icon, which is the other one. Yeah, that one.
Oh, this one.
The toggle to full screen. Yeah, over there. Yes. You see here the column complete.
Complete. Ah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And actually, that's a very,
Okay.
yeah, you see here the yes. Yeah, that's a very good question because it brings up a topic of um or where to put the completion step,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
who can say where to put the completion step? Like, what would be your thoughts about it? Where to put the completion step?
Completion step.
Like as a general rule of thumb, how do you know where to put the completion step?
Sebastian, wasn't this one of your questions for me?
Yes.
Didn't I get
It
it
was.
wrong?
It was a tricky question. Sorry. Yeah, in my
Oh well,
in
Leslie, what did you answer?
I don't remember what I answered, but I think the correct answer was it's when the meat of the process is done
Mhm,
or the
mhm,
essential process has been completed. So there might
mhm.
be some additional things that need to be done, but when the essential steps of the process have been completed. So I don't know what process we're looking at. My brain is a
This
goldfish.
is
But what process are we looking at?
Higher, I think.
Hire
higher.
process. So if you've actually hired the person and you've made the offer and they've accepted the offer, then it would be complete. So, but if you still got to
Mhm.
like make the Workday account and
Mhm.
like get them access, those might be after the completion step, right?
Awesome. Yes, that's
So you may
correct.
delay the completion steps
Well, delay is a different concept.
or
Delay,
add more
we
steps.
can delay, but that's a different concept. The completion and delay, totally different concepts. They are both, like they both exist, and you can delay steps, but let's not get into delay right now.
Mhm.
But as you mentioned, Leslie, that's totally correct. When like, and here we have to be very, how would you say, like, we have to analyze
Mhm.
where to put the completion step. As Leslie mentioned, there are some steps, like for example, creating accounts or closing accounts, or I don't know, running a Workday service. There are some steps that can go after the completion, but steps like approvals, they should be before the completion. There is no sense in putting an approval after the
Afterwards.
business process has been completed, right?
Mhm.
Like you need to have those approvals before the business process gets completed. It doesn't make any sense to have them later. So
But
it
Charlie,
yeah,
what if you want to freeze a decision?
We can
freeze
delay
a
it, right?
decision.
Yes, como hacer algo antes de go ahead with the business process.
Hacer
Okay,
algo.
that's when you use delays. That's when you use delays. Like there's, I don't know, we need for some time for an integration to run, or we need some time until we get to the hire date, because sometimes we hire people and they will start in the future. So we use delays. We can use delays in such cases to delay, like to kind of put on freeze,
Put on
if
hold.
you will,
Mhm.
Como
the business.
posponer, como...
Yeah, like postpone the business process until something happens. That's that's totally doable. That's totally normal. It happens. Um, but it's different than the completion, right? It's important to have uh like to differentiate between completion and delays. Delays can happen at any step. It will always depend on your needs or the organization needs, I mean. Um, but completion will always depend more on like it it's an evaluation we have to make about where is the right place to put the completion step, what happens before and what happens next.
Got it. I see.
Awesome.
Got you. Wait,
Okay, is there anything else, or can we check the quizzes? Is there any question about the quizzes?
Mhm. I think. Wait, what were the points I sent Leslie? This is the one I sent Leslie. I think I.
So that's Leslie's. That's the quiz you answered about Leslie. That Leslie
That
Answer.
created for you.
Sebastian
Yeah,
designed.
that I meant. Yeah, yeah.
Also, that's the one you designed for Leslie.
For Leslie,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
A
So
couple of things I got there. I think.
go ahead and click on responses.
Yeah. Oh, no, because this one's And this is the editor. Okay, yeah. The correct answer is false. A business process is a series of steps to reach a goal in all environments, not only in business. It's false because, well, a business process is a series of steps to reach a goal in a business environment. Sorry, put a little trick over there.
Mm, wait.
See,
Oh, Sebastian, you are mean.
Sorry.
Poor Leslie. Let me see this.
I got it.
She
A
did. She
business
did.
process is a series of steps to reach a goal in all environments, not only business. A business process is a
Oh,
series of steps to reach a goal in all.
In a
When you
business.
say in all environments, you mean
Yeah, it was
tenants?
in
yeah,
all,
it
yes,
was
in workday
confusion.
environment.
I meant like in all type of environments. For example, not only business, because as the business process will be inside the well a business space, so it'll be like architecture, religion, and all types of spaces. It was to mess a little bit with the grammar.
Hmm. Okay. Can you go to the tab above that says respuestas?
This one was it?
No, to the left.
Oh yeah, this one, this one. Yeah, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Leslie got it.
And wait, scroll up. Here, revisar respuestas. Go there.
There we go.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so Leslie got it. Okay, very clever,
Yep,
Leslie.
yep.
Okay, so a sub-process is.
I got this
Yeah,
one wrong. We already
yeah,
talked about it. I went back and forth and I changed it after I read the next question because I got confused. He got in my head. He got
Mhm.
Sorry. Sorry.
Uh,
um
uh-huh.
but it is A, and we talked it through
Mhm. A series of
because it
steps. Mhm.
yeah, inside the main
Mhm.
process. And I was like, "Oh, it's so simple." And I originally had this marked and then I
Mhm.
read what happens is um the second one, B, says a mini business process that is inside the main business process and can't be run outside the main business process. And I didn't think that was right. But when you go to read number 3, it has that same verbiage. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Mm.
Because it says it twice.
Self-doubt. Never self.
Sorry.
So I got 2 and 3 wrong. He had the same like phrasing and I was like, "Oh my god, like maybe I'm wrong." Um,
He tricked you.
he totally tricked me. Um,
Oh my gosh.
yep, he got in my head and so I got 2 and 3 wrong.
My bad.
But it's fine because we talked about it and why the answers were right and why I was wrong. And it was a
Let me
good
repeat.
learning experience.
That's good. That's the whole
That,
idea. And
that
mini
was
business
Uh,
process that's inside the
the
main
trick
business
was
process can
here.
be
because
can't. Yeah, it can.
yeah, because that's the whole point of a sub process, right? Like
Mhm.
it's included, but it could stand
It
on its
could be
own.
on its
Correct.
own.
Like you can run it as a sub process or you can
Mhm.
run it as a standalone, like
Mhm.
Yep,
outside
yep.
of the sub process.
And I will never get it wrong again.
Awesome. Awesome. That's
Sorry.
the whole idea. Good job
And
on that, Sebas.
oh my, it was me when Leslie told me. I was like, maybe I should have changed the wording
No,
because
no.
I intentionally
He,
did it
So
that way. I was like, maybe.
it is it is a mini business process
Mhm.
that is
So,
inside
for
the main.
example, this one is not because it's additional step outside the main business process. So then false. and a series of conditions that must be met to be for the business process to continue. It's a step mainly, mostly. So it wouldn't fit the definition. So
Mhm.
good one. A series of steps inside the main business process. And this one
Mhm.
was the one that we were talking about. I also put a little trick on this one. Choose the correct statement. Only one of the four options is true. And the first one is false because there can be conditional steps in a business process.
Mhm.
These under no circumstances there can be steps after the completion step. Also false. We just saw it. There can be steps after it's complete, after the complete of the main business object. This one was the the one that Leslie got confused because of my fault. A sub-process is a part of a business process, and all the sub-process steps are inside the business process and can't be a
Mhm.
standalone process. So again,
Mhm.
I put it
Pero,
twice to mess again.
Yeah, go ahead, Maribel.
so, exacto, esta era la respuesta correcta, lo que habías, perdón, lo que
No.
escogió Leslie es, sí,
Ajá.
porque I know the
Yeah,
processes, step are inside the business process, and it can't
sí.
be a standalone
It
process.
can.
O sea, un subprocess siempre depende del business process general, pues porque
When
No, no,
it's
no.
inside,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
when it's inside, but you can
Mhm.
also run it
Run it.
as a standalone, like outside
Ah.
of the other process,
Mhm.
So a
right?
business process is complete when all essential steps to accomplishing the main goal are done.
Mhm. That's it.
So
That's the
what
one.
as a process, what allows you is to put a business process inside another business process. However, you can get that, or you can run that sub process, like what you have as a sub process. You could also run it as a standalone, like outside
Okay.
of the main business process. So
El,
here the word is can, like the
yeah.
word
Uh-huh.
can't doesn't apply because you can
Mhm.
run it as a standalone.
Okay.
Think of sub-processes as processes that are mostly small, but they can be run on their own. For example, I don't know, uh, do a background check. That can be a
Mhm.
sub-process, but you can do it on its own as a main business process. But you include it
Correct.
in the main business process so that you don't have to do it like outside. Do two business process by yourself. Just include it to run more smoothly.
Correct.
If you think about the first and only video for this unit, and they talk
Mhm.
about ordering the coffee and they talk about actually making the coffee as the sub process, like you
Mhm.
can just make a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Like,
Okay. Okay.
And the next one, I think Leslie got all of them right. Oh,
So
this one.
could you can you please give me 1 minute? Just I need to write something.
Yeah, perfect.
Just give me a second.
There we go. Mhm. Yeah, also, I realized I made a grammar mistake here. Apologies for that. Didn't double check that.
El can't.
Yeah, I was missing the apostrophe.
oh my goodness, how dare you?
Terrible, me parece.
I felt so bad because in this one, I came back to correct it and I said, "Oh yeah, yeah." Then all the rest is perfect. And then when I was reading again, I just saw this and I was like, "No, no."
Just when I sent it.
Yeah. Not even when Leslie was asking me about it, I was double checking the everything again. I was like, "Oh my god!" It passed my head, and I felt bad because I came back to check this one specifically, and I didn't thought about this one. Jeez, double trap there.
So I didn't know that about the subprocess, for example. Interesting. So it's a standalone process too.
Yep, it can be a standalone. Yeah, Tere mentioned it to me when we were having one of our sessions. So I I tried to be sneaky. I thought
Está bien.
I think it could be a good question.
Yes.
Guys, I'm sorry. I have to run and
Mhm.
get the kiddo at this time.
Mhm,
Oh, sorry to hear
no.
that, Leslie. I sent you an email.
No, I saw it, and I haven't finished grading your free response.
Ah, okay.
But I got one of them done, and I still had one to go. So I'll make sure I finish that up for you today, so you can have the feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But
Oh,
you
Leslie,
got
before you go, I just wanted to tell you that I checked all the other answers and they are correct. The only one that says you didn't have the point was because this one was an open answer question. So that's why you have 5 instead of 6 because
Ooh.
you have all the others correct.
So
It was
I
just this
got
one.
6 out of 8.
Yep, and the two that
75%.
But well, Leslie, no worries. Go ahead, do what you need to do, and we will do the review of that question, of that answer. Sorry.
But
right.
I liked this unit a lot. It does feel like things are falling into place. It also feels like having done the documentation, like that has really helped
Awesome.
understanding the business
Cool.
processes.
Awesome.
So I'm liking this.
Oh my gosh.
Good,
Yes.
good,
Yes.
Woo!
That's awesome. That's
All
awesome that
right.
you say that. Okay.
I'm gonna go sit in a carpool line.
Okay. Happy to hear that, Leslie.
But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
Leslie.
Bye,
See you
Leslie. Have
later.
a good afternoon.
Hi,
Um,
Leslie.
okay, so let's continue with the other one.
4. This one, Leslie got it. Choose the right option. Imagine you need a business process to hire a new employee. Now that you're in Workday, you can. So, as you can imagine, there are 3 that are incorrect and 1 that is the correct answer. So the first one, A, create your own business process with all the steps to hire a new employee. It sounds correct, but
See, it sounds correct, but no.
here's the main thing. Create. You can't create your own business process inside Workday. You have to use the ones that are provided to
You
you.
can copy it, right?
Yep,
You can
Oh my
copy.
gosh.
yep,
Okay.
copy.
So
Yep, that's the main. Leslie saw right
it's
through it.
you know what? Something that is super interesting is the real workday and the ideal workday. There's
Yeah.
kind of like versus a vis-a-vis, a sort of situation always going on. It's like one thing is how workday promotes itself, and the other thing is how workday really works. It's something that I'm sort of
Mhm.
coming to terms with, because create your own business process sounds great,
Yeah,
but you
it
actually have
sounds.
to
Mhm. You have to
use,
edit. So
yeah, use
that's ajá,
de los que ellos ya están, los que ya vienen
ajá.
con el sistema, que hay más
Ujú,
de 800.
ujú.
¿Cuántos?
Creo. Sí, creo que eran por ahí 800, me parece que eran.
Sí,
O más, depende de
o
cuántos
más.
vayan creando en el tenant. Y por eso la respuesta correcta era esta. Edit, editar. The
Ujú.
already established business processes hire in Workday to your own needs. Y aquí, menos mal, Leslie la tuvo correcta porque me di cuenta que la cuarta sería la respuesta correcta según siguiendo eh, sí, siguiendo los lineamientos correctos. Porque entonces no sería editar simplemente F, sino sería copiar
Y
and
editar.
already established business process in Word and create your own
Yeah.
business process. Sería cambiar aquí en vez el create y sería ponerle editar y esta sería la
Copiar,
respuesta
editar.
correcta.
Copiar
Ujú,
y editar sería la respuesta
ujú,
Yeah.
más precisa, sí.
ujú,
Yeah,
ujú.
well, this one is
Sí, pues,
well,
Pero esa se le
it's wrong.
acerca.
It,
yeah.
it yeah, it's very I get what you're saying. This one should be copy and edit,
Edit.
And edit.
Sí.
not
Uh-huh.
copy
Sí.
and create.
Create.
Yeah.
Sí.
Yeah.
And this
Mhm.
one should be the right one should be copy.
Copy. Yeah, it should be this one after I change this one.
Seba, ¿sabes qué puedes hacer
Ajá.
simplemente? En la
Ajá.
segunda opción, que ya es la correcta y fue la seleccionada por Leslie, está bien. Simplemente
Sí.
agregar edit and copy the already pre-established business process
sí.
hiring the workday to your
Cop-
needs.
copy and
Copy
edit.
and edit.
O copy
Ujú.
and edit, sí, porque
Ujú.
eso es lo que se hace,
Ajá.
exactamente.
Cierto, cierto. Yep, I can change this one easily and it'll still be correct.
Exacto.
Because here, create. There's still the trap. And this one is also false because take the already pre-established business process hire in Workday and use it. Here is the clicker. Shame you can't edit it. So that's the trick. You
Mhm.
can edit the
Awesome.
business process, so you can change it to your liking.
Okay.
I was gonna
That's
not put this part, but it was too tricky, so I put it just as a wink, wink. And this one is the
Mhm.
open question that I asked.
Okay.
Leslie.
Let me
Neuron
let me
was?
read through.
Mhm.
Please give
Please
an
give
example
an
of a business process steps. You can give an example or analogy what works best for you to share your idea. Business is right, but it will be awesome if you also include a sub-process in your example. Okay, a business process is a series of steps done in logical order to achieve a business goal. Correct. One example is the job application process. Job application, okay, where you need first post the job opening, screen the candidates, conduct initial reviews, then managers interviews, then there may be a final round of interviews, finally an offer, and if everything works out, the candidate accepts the offers. A sub-process of the job application process would be the higher business process.
No. Well, I think, well, the higher, isn't the higher business process like the general business process?
No. So first we have
Porque es que
the job application business process. So everything
Okay.
here in Leslie's answer is correct except the last phrase, the last sentence, sorry. A sub-process of the job application process could be the higher business process. And that's not the case
Mhm.
because in the job application business process,
Mhm.
everything that she mentions here, where she says where where you need to first post the job opening, screen candidates, that's a sub process. Conduct initial interviews, that's another business process. Then managers interviews, and then there might be a final round of interviews. That's a business process for managers interview. Offer is another business sub process. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And if everything works out, the candidate accepts the offer. That's another sub
And
process.
remember que hay otro subprocess que se puede poner en esto, que es cuando se necesita como hacerle una oferta verbal al candidato. Al candidato.
Una oferta verbal.
Sí, como una oferta. Había habido en alguno
That's
de los ejemplos.
that's the offer step.
Pero tú tienes como que hacerlo, o sea, como que, okay, you received the offer, pero puede que haya parte de ese process, de ese BP, ¿no? Consista de otro subprocess que implique una negociación paralela. ¿Te acuerdas que hay como un parallel, que se pueden hacer como una serie de proceso paralelo para como escuchar la oferta? Porque de pronto el candidato tiene una contraoferta o tiene alguna, antes de que amende la oferta final, es decir, ¿sí me entiendes? Porque estoy tratando de como agregar
Well,
a la clarificación.
there's no such business process like to verbally communicate the offer. So what happens is you have inside the job application business process, you have one of the steps or one of the sub processes is the offer.
Mhm.
And in the offer business process, you can you can send the offer to the candidate can reject it, goes back to the recruiter, and you can send it back to the candidate. Like you can configure it in a way that you can go back and forth.
Mhm.
Like, for example, let's
Ese
say
es el
the
dynamic,
recruiter, yeah,
¿cierto?
like the recruiter makes a mistake and the last name is not correct, then the candidate can send it back. And then recruiter can send it back again to the candidate. Like you can go into a loop there. Like Workday will allow you to do that. You can go back and forth, but there's no such thing as uh, configuring like a verbal business process notification, that kind of thing. No, like you can simply go back and forth in that offer business process. Like
Mhm.
uh, recruiter sends the offer, candidate denies, and then sends it back, and then denies, and sends it back, and then denies. You can do that. Like Workday will allow you to go in that loop. At some point, you will need to get out of the loop, right? When the
Mm,
candidate accepts the offer, you go to the
Mhm.
next step.
ujú.
Um, but no such thing as as a step to verbally
But, bueno,
negotiate.
eso yo te juro que vi en algún momento que había un process o no process, sino un subprocess, o de pronto me estoy confundiendo con algún otro step, que eran como cosas que se podían hacer fuera de Workday, que hacían parte del process, del business process, que se podían hacer
That
como,
Yeah, that's a to-do step.
ok, so that's the
That
to-dos, que es
Yeah,
como
those are to-dos.
entregar una información adicional.
Yeah,
Ok.
yeah. You can
Yeah.
configure to-dos in
Okay.
which
I have
is
the
basically to let like to do something inside of Workday or outside of Workday.
seven.
That's
Ok.
totally doable. Yeah. So
Like
you can
this one.
configure a to-do, yeah, like that one. Like for example, inform agencies. Like this could be simply a way to remind HR partners to send an email to agencies, for example,
Ujú.
to do something outside or inside of Workday.
Or
And yeah, we could configure something like that in the offer business process. That's doable.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, you could have a to do to negotiate offer, for example.
Exactly. That's what I
Negotiate
mean.
offer.
Yes,
And
that's what I
then
mean.
when you get to that to do, the let's say the recruiter will get a notification like the to do step, and the to do step will have a text saying like an instructional text, like explaining what
Mm,
needs to happen. For example, hey recruiter, remember you need to call the candidate and negotiate the terms of the offer. And when the recruiter is done with that negotiation or that step, then the recruiter goes back to Workday and marks the to do as completed. And then we move forward.
okay, that's, yeah,
Okay.
that
But
clarifies.
what I wanted to say here, it's something very important about the the um, the job application step.
Mhm.
She says in the last sentence, as to process, and Sebastian, please take note because you will be in charge of giving her the feedback.
Mhm.
A sub-process of the job application process could be the hire business process. That's not the case because what the job application does is when we get the candidate accepts the offer, right?
Mhm.
And then the next step if there's no background check, let's say we are done with everything, interviews, background checks, offer, everything is done, then we move to a step that is to a business process that is called ready for hire, which is not hire, is not the hire business process, it's something different. It's
So-
what comes right before hire. It's called ready for hire. And that's the last step in the job application business process. When the ready for hire is finished, then only then we go to hire. So
Oh,
hire, it's a business process on its own, separate from
Mhm.
job application. Okay?
So hire is not a sub-process.
Hire is not a sub-process of job application. Ready for hire, which is the last step, is the bridge between recruitment and core HR.
Okay.
Okay? So
Okay. Yeah.
hire, the hire business process, that one falls into the HR core category. Ready for hire and everything that's before, like recruitment, job application, offer, background check, everything that's inside of the job application business process, those business processes fall into the recruitment category. Okay?
Yeah.
And ready for hire is the one that's making that connection between recruitment and HR core.
Sí,
Okay.
es como el transition, es como, sí, como se llega hasta ahí y entonces puedes como seguir
Correct.
a...
Yes. So
Al hire process.
when the candidate crosses that ready for hire bridge, like I want you to picture it like that. It's like a bridge. When the candidate crosses that bridge, the recruiter goes into the system and says, yes, this candidate is ready for hire. Yes. So the candidate crosses that bridge, and then we move on to another business process, which is hire. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
inside hire, we have other sub-processes such as onboarding. There are many
Sí, es que eso
sub-processes.
es súper, súper tricky porque uno creería que es lo mismo. Sí, al principio,
No.
o sea, sin saber nada, sin saber nada. Uno dice, pero hire no es como application, no, como no hace parte, pero pues se dan
No.
cuenta que en
It
Workday
does. No. It's
es
something,
completamente,
it's different. Yes. It's
sí,
different. It's
completely
another, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to the report functional areas, I think so. I think it's, if you and you look for job application, I think it's in a different functional area. Go there and look for the business process job application. I don't know if you will be able to filter job job application, right? Write the whole word, job application.
Oops.
o sea, están en dos distintos functional areas.
I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. No?
Doesn't appear at least. No, not there.
Just write the whole word application. Job application.
Application. See application action bank. No. Application. No. Can't seem to find. I can find.
Or go to the business process job application. Go open the VP job application.
Oops.
Yeah, and
default definition.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Okay.
And go to the related actions.
Here we go.
Go to the business process policy. View.
And view. Here we have.
Yes, you see here, functional area at the top. Functional
Sí.
area, recruiting.
Recruit.
Okay.
Now do the same for hire. Go to the hire
Hire.
BP and open the policy.
And business process policy view. Staffing.
You see the staffing. That staffing is inside HR core. You see? So they are both in different functional areas, and ready for hire is the one communicating between those two functional areas, moving candidates from being candidates
Mhm.
to a business process
Becoming
where we
hire.
convert a candidate into an employee.
Ah,
So Sebas, you need to explain that to Leslie.
so let's-
Everything else is perfect,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
that final sentence is good for her to
Yeah,
know that this business process is not a sub process.
That's a process.
And
Mhm.
I think we could give her half point for the half point.
Mhm.
I don't know if we can give her like
Ah,
0.75.
Well, I kind of said it was not necessary.
y necessary es con una R. But
Ah.
well, eso puede ser
Again,
un
my bad.
eso puede ser un typo.
Yeah.
Un typo.
Typo. Sorry.
Can you in the over
If you want to
there?
give half points in
Yeah.
the form, you have to do it, like only 0.5 because it's not
Mhm.
possible to give 0.75.
75?
So you can
0.75.
only
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
you can only do it 0.5 or 1.5.
Okay. So
So
you can
you
write there 0.5.
Five.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sí,
Okay. Okay.
es difícil, sí, pero se entiende porque digamos como que actually, o sea, empieza uno a
Ujú.
entender entonces cómo es que funciona esto de los functional areas, ¿no?
Ya.
Mhm.
Cuando
Justo.
uno ve este tipo de...
Stuck.
Mhm.
Ahora
Okay.
sí.
So
There's-
let me check the other questions.
Yeah.
Is there any
Uh,
other question that is wrong?
No,
No.
she got all of them right. How can Word determine the people who should
Okay.
carry access with evidence in this process? Through the security groups. The other
course.
ones
Okay.
are just distractions.
Perfect. Okay. So I will
Um,
not go into the other questions
Mhm.
because
Oh,
of time
this one-
constraints.
yeah.
So Maria Elvira, do the same
Yeah.
thing with your quiz. You need to review the answers and
Sí, ya lo hice. I did it
perfect.
already. And I did
Awesome.
it manually porque por algún motivo no me dejaba como automáticamente. Yo no sé si, Sebas, tú pudiste verificar. ¿A ti te llegó un resultado inmediato? Del...
Ay, caramba, no. Esperen.
Ok,
No vi.
no. So I did it manually.
Okay.
Yo simplemente tengo las preguntas y las
Um,
respuestas también.
But
Como-
did you do it like this way in a form?
Sí, sí, hice la
Okay.
Google Forms, lo hice en Google Forms.
Okay. So
Básicamente
The
hay
idea was
dos.
to create it in the Microsoft Forms, and that way you could assign
Yes,
scores, and we
I know.
like the possibility
Guys, I did
to
my
check it out
best. I
here.
did my best, Alejandra.
Yeah.
So I did it with the Google Forms, como todo el
one.
mundo. Y si quieren les muestro lo que... Este es el cuestionario.
This is- Mhm.
okay, it's in
This is
Google.
What I
No,
answered.
hice como 14 preguntas verdadero falso. A ver, puedes mirar.
Okay.
Y 2 o
Guys.
3 preguntas de
Ujú.
desarrollo.
Yeah. I need to stop here because I need to address something else, but we can review
Sí.
this for next time. we can use Microsoft Forms
Mhm.
to have
Yes.
everything inside of our Paladin environment and
Sí, yo
not
lo hice en
in
Google,
Google.
Forms. Yo lo hice,
Yeah,
es que eso
so
es
it-
distinto. ¿Era distinto?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Sí,
If we
Mae, la
use
instrucción
Google,
era crear el
Pues-
form en Microsoft Forms y que te lo enviaras a tu body y que fueran más o menos entre 8 y 10 preguntas. Esa fue la
Ok,
instrucción
bueno,
que les di cuando
entonces,
estábamos
qué pena,
haciendo
qué pena
quiz.
desobedecer. Yo pensé que Google Forms era Microsoft Forms. O sea, no sabía que había otro distinto de Google. O sea, yo pensé que era Google Forms. Entonces lo hice con Google
it's the
Forms,
same.
pero es
It's like
exactamente
the
lo mismo.
solution of Microsoft
Mhm.
for
Ok,
Forms.
es el upgrade, perfecto, o sea, como la optimización. Pues ya lo hice ahí y simplemente, o sea, fue idéntico. Lo único es que las respuestas no llegaron automáticamente, o sea, no hay como una automatización, pero de todas maneras el formulario está y las respuestas de
Mhm.
Sebastián fueron ingresadas y yo evalué el cuestionario.
Perfecto.
¿Listo?
Sí.
Entonces solo hay
So,
dos preguntas que me quedaron como dos respuestas, Sebas, o tres que no sacaste correctas, o dos y media, o 2 o 3, en ese momento no me acuerdo, pero si quieres, ya nosotros tuvimos la oportunidad de como revisarlo, y si quieres, lo que sí quiero es que lo vean pues Charlie y Alejandra también, para que veamos cómo fue que lo
Listo.
formulé o cómo fue que hice
Ujú.
el cuestionario, ¿no? Cómo fue
Listo.
que lo planteé.
sure. Right now I need to stop because I have a meeting with Sebastian and Juan to check the integrations project we have. But Maria Elvira, could you please create the questions in Microsoft Forms? Because what we do is the intent of this is creating a pool of questions so we can use it, right? And you
Sí.
are being part of that process. And if we
No,
have
son
those
15.
questions,
Sí, no, son 15 preguntas.
if we have
sí.
those questions in Google, like they are outside of the Paladinos
Y yo pensé que
environment.
era lo mismo. Yo pensé que Google y Microsoft eran lo mismo. Perdón.
No worries. Go ahead and create the questions, and then we can review several answers
Pero
later.
lo voy a hacer entonces.
Um,
Volver a hacer todo ese cuestionario es como un poco.
Si
no
quieres,
se
lo
podrá
pongo aquí.
como
yeah,
de
because
pronto. No
we
será
need
que
the
podrá
questions
migrar
like
ahí.
in Microsoft Forms, so we can. Sorry.
No, me
Mae,
pregunto
si
si se.
necesitas ayuda, me avisas y lo podemos hacer y yo te puedo ayudar. O sea, en realidad es solamente que crees el form desde Microsoft y puedas subir toda la información ahí para tenerlo todo en el ambiente corporativo de Paladino, que es Microsoft Teams y todo lo que nosotros tenemos en SharePoint, todo este asunto.
Ok, entonces, pues si quieres lo hacemos, no se demora nada. Yo tengo las preguntas ahí listas y ya tengo las respuestas de Sebastián. O sea, ya están ahí también.
It's just copy and paste. Just
Sí,
copy and
solo es
paste
copiar y pegar.
between
No es,
Google and.
Listo.
Okay, perfect.
Pasarlas ahí al otro.
Okay,
plataforma.
Sebas, can you please join the other call?
Yep, I'll do it.
Ale, entonces te quedas un minuto y te las muestro o lo me dices cómo y lo hago para tenerlo listo.
Dale, yo te explico cómo crear el form, Mae. Charlie, creo que sigues grabando, entonces yo creo que cuando te salgas ya se para la grabación. Pero dale, María Elvira, acá nos quedamos y miramos lo de
awesome.
tu